Unlock the power of AI in marketing with our new series, AI Agent. Dive into the world of SaaS tools, discover how marketing pros deploy bots, and explore the best use cases for AI in your marketing strategy. Only on Marketing in the Age of AI podcast with Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today we are going to dig into AI tools and AI philosophy around user experience. And my guest today is Ginny Delaitre. And Ginny is an award-winning leader in UX marketing with over 12 years of experience shaping user-centric strategies across web, mobile, and AI platforms. As founder and CEO of VDS Digital Agency and the UX Marketing Institute, Ginny combines deep expertise in design, business, and marketing to help brands create meaningful, trust-driven customer experiences that lead to lead generation and growth. That sounds amazing. Who doesn't need that? Ginny, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today.
Hi, yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Where in the world are you calling in from today?
So I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, Northern Virginia.
All right. Well, that's interesting. And you originally are from France?
Yes, correct.
All right. And did you go to school for marketing overseas or here?
So I didn't go to school for marketing. I studied design. So my background is in design.
Beautiful.
But I did both. I did both.
Oh,
I
wow.
studied both side of I studied in France and then I came here and I study again. So yeah, but my background is in design.
And then how did you port the design philosophy into marketing? What caused that to transpire?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I created my company as a design company. So it was Virginie Design Services. So that's why it's VDS. And by doing design, and I have also a background in being a developer a little bit. So I was both a developer and a designer. And by doing both and starting working with brands, I realized the needs of where was really in marketing. People were keeping on asking me, we need marketing, because when you build a product, it's great, but if you don't market it, the product just, you don't have users. So what the
Yes.
goal? So that's why I slowly moved to marketing, and by bringing all the experience I had and by learning also, from small like training and stuff, I could move my company to VDS Digital Agency. And now it's funny because now I do only marketing. I still do a little bit of website creation and especially auditing the website, making sure the user experience is great, but always with marketing in mind. So.
Well, that's interesting. I think it's beautiful to bring the design part in because sometimes the marketing can be too cut and paste and without acknowledgement of the different types of users and what they demand visually as well as functionally.
Yes, so that's why I say that I do UX marketing, because I think it's when I started doing marketing, I was like, there is something missing. So that's why I brought my experience of being a UX, like user experience designer, into marketing. And I was like, now it makes more sense for me because we are talking to users. So the design is as important as the message itself and the way we share it. So that's why.
So what is it like right now? What AI tools are you using and how are you implementing AI tools for your clients?
Yes, so I started playing with AI like a year ago, but it was just personal at first. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Because I have a background as a developer, I could very easily start playing with tools. And starting in January, I really was like, I need to use that for my clients. So how do I use it?
Right.
My main AI tools, and we certainly already hear about it in this podcast, is N8N. So I build workflows. I see you smiling. It's really an amazing tool. So I have it on my own server, and I started to build my own workflows for various tasks I'm needed. So internal task, for example, sorting emails, because marketing is so big, we have so many channels to deal with. So having like AI tools that works in the background, sorting and making sure everything goes at the right place, sorting the Google Drive, all these kind of things is great. So that's one of the thing I do with AI. And the other part is more to content creation, because creating content, we need a lot of content. And I do user experience marketing, so we need content that talks to the user, how we integrate the user in the content. So having AI as a backup to help us building that content is really what I'm looking for and what I develop even more right now. Now that the back end is dealing with, so now the front end, and really how do we build content with AI in a meaningful way, because I don't want to just have AI, creating random posts and sharing. That's because the problem is like people are like, oh yeah, he's doing everything by itself. I was like, yes and no.
Yeah, it can go off the rails very quickly if you just let the machine run on its own.
Exactly. So that's a mistake people sometimes are thinking about. Even my clients are like, oh yeah, but you don't do anything about that. I was like, I actually do a lot of things about it, because I know it's AI, because when you say AI, people think, oh, AI is doing automatically everything. But no, you have to be there, entering the right data, and then making sure what you create is actually the right message, tweaking things. So that's why I love N8N, because you can really do your workflow and tweaking. I keep on tweaking my agent, because when I see them working, I'm just like, this is not exactly what I wanted. So you can go into your agent and keep adding instruction, modifying your instructions, and making sure these agents are really doing what you want them to do. So that's why I really love it. N8. It's really my main tool.
Nice. So what are kind of the top 3 or 4 things that you're looking at when you're creating content leveraging some AI tool?
So when I create content with an AI tool, first I'm very what I enter, the data, is really important, because especially when you create, I will take a very simple example, social media post. So we all need social media posts. We all need a lot of things for social media. So having an AI doing that for us is really great. But I think the most important is, what do we say to the AI to get the social media post? Because it will write the post anyway, but we want to make sure. So each time in my workflows, entering of data, I always have the data about the client. With the client, what is their website, what is their brand voice, what is their ICP, do I have custom instructions about what I want? And then the AI is building with this data. The second part is, when I use an agent, I always look online, and I use Tavily most of the time. There are other tools. I don't have all the names, but Tavily is a good one. Basically, the AI agent is making a research online about this client. It's just checking their website, checking their services, checking what is about before building the post. So there is this agent, like, sort of looking at even more data than the one I enter. And then when it's building the post, the instruction is really important. It's like, especially for social media posts, I have a structure that I want to follow. I want a hook, I want a description, I want a CTA, and I want hashtags. So I have a very strong instruction model. And also, I don't want the post to sound like exciting news.
Right.
So
Yeah. We're
when I
proud
say
to
exciting,
announce.
exactly. So when I see that, I'm always like, okay, well, apparently you use ChatGPT, because that's what you get when you use ChatGPT, like just blank ChatGPT. So I'm trying to really get the human touch with this post. And it is funny, because when I started creating that post, I didn't say to my graphic designers that I have switched to AI. It's because sometimes, I mean, before we were writing them by ourselves, and then I switched to AI, and my graphic designers kept working, and she was getting the post, doing the design. And then someday I was like, oh yeah, I'm working with AI. And she was like, really? I was thinking it was a human. Keep working with the post. I was like, no, this is an AI. We switch. And she didn't even realize, because she was getting exactly the same thing. And she didn't even realize we have switched. So, but it is so fast, and we get exactly what we want by doing that. But really putting like data instruction and looking at this web research, that is a deep research, with another tool, that ChatGPT. I know ChatGPT is getting better to do research online, but I really like to use other type of tools for that.
And so
Are really
what's the
specified.
deep research that you like to use?
So Tavily is one of the one I've researched. I think I use another. I don't have the name in the top of my mind.
Yeah. I really like the Google Notebook. I think that's a good one for deep research, and I like that you're able to reference both previous materials that you've completed in PDF, as well as websites and other online sources.
Yeah, it's Notebook LM, right? The one that also
Yeah.
generate podcast. I use that one too for some clients, and actually trying to generate some podcasts with it because I think it's really good into taking this content and generating an audio about it. You can
Yeah.
put some instructions, and then yeah, it's really funny. It's not at all like this podcast, but it's really another way to listen to content instead of reading it. And I thought it was a very interesting way to do that.
Yeah, I thought so too. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is going to be awful," and I don't ever want to have a product like that. But the voices are very clear, and the conversation that they create is amazing. So it does have a spot where if you have a target market that's older, or maybe you have a blind target market, it's a really easy
Yes.
way to convert content from written to voice, and it's amazingly quick.
Yeah, that's exactly. And it's just creating the podcast and then you have the audio. And you're right. It's like at first I was like, ah, that's gonna sound bad. But no, it's actually interactive and you can even interact with it. I never tried that. I mean, I tried, but I never post that online when you actually get into the conversation and start
Yeah.
asking questions. But I thought it was, you're right. When your audience is older and people will just and people don't have the time sometimes to read all these blog article we post online. So having an audio version of I use it to do an audio version of a blog article. Basically, I write my blog, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Now I want an audio version of this blog. Can you get it to me?" And then I get the audio version, and I offer both to people. So it's not new content; it's more like alternate way
Hmm.
to digest the content, which I
Yeah.
think is very important, especially for user experience marketing. It's like because people like digesting content various ways depending on their time and lifestyle.
Yeah,
So
have you tracked anything users versus audio and what that looks like?
well, I think I still have more people reading it, but
Yeah.
I put it in my newsletter and I had a lot of click on the audio part. And I was
Yeah.
just like, there is an interest here because I put a newsletter and I was like, you can read the article or you can listen to it. And I had
Like
much
it.
more click on the listen to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's cool. And so that just takes them to like the blog post page, and then they can click the audio player. Is that the process?
yeah, so basically I create the blog post and then I try to do it right away to generate the audio with, and then the audio is at the top of the blog post, and then you have the blog post below.
Yeah.
So that's one way to do it. And the other way is when I share it in my newsletter, I was like, there is a new blog post. You can either read it or listen to it. And I sort of offer the two options.
Yeah, that's
Um,
great. I love that.
that's sort
Well,
of the way I do it. Yeah.
you had mentioned that you're working on a little piece of software that might be helping marketers. You want to describe what you're working on?
Yeah, I work a lot on it. It was like it's something I do a lot like now, today and last week. I started to create my own piece of software because what I say is I use Anything, but Anything is just like it's sort of the API. It's like a webhook and
Yeah.
you enter data and you get output, but it's not really a piece of software we can use. So I'm starting to build with I started to use Lovable and I really
Sure.
like it.
Yeah.
So Lovable is actually coding for you
Right.
using it, I will say it's not a no-code program. Better to be a developer and
Yeah.
better to know reading what he's doing. I love that he's code. Being a developer in the past, I'm like, this is amazing. It is coding for me. But also, I think being a developer is great because I can go into it and actually read through and make sure he's doing the right things. Because I had some issue writing my program doing small programs, I think it's really easy. You have one page and it does a very simple actions. I'm trying to build a really strong SaaS tool when I can enter my clients, generate my ideas, then generate the post from the ideas. Then I have a process to actually approve the post, and then I have a design process for my graphic designer, and then a scheduling process. So it's a
Nice.
really big SaaS tool I'm building. And if you don't have any like I will say developer skills, yeah, I think it's hard to use this type of tools because it goes very far. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm building. Sort of
That's cool. Well, I
how
got
to
two
create.
things.
Yeah,
One is I think Lovable is great for prototyping, right?
yeah,
Because you can put in your prompt and it'll build some actions for you, and then tell you what you need to do next, and then ask it to build a landing page for,
Yes.
right? So you have a pretty complete prototype that you can take to developers, because I agree it's beyond most people's skill level if you're not a developer.
But
And
yeah,
then
you can
B,
prototype so fast. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
It's like you have an idea, you put it in there, and you just develop the idea. And you're like, oh my god.
right. Like we could have a conversation, and in 30 minutes we'll have a prototype while it's
Yeah.
running in the background. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm wondering, are you going to build your software so that it has APIs to be able to go into other pieces of software in the workflow?
Yes, basically, so that's my software is really calling the N18. So it's like it's not working by itself. So the agents are still on the N18 side, but having, I think, a visual, being able to sort things uh, before calling the API, I think it's because I was using N18 by itself. It's
Yeah,
great, but it has limitation because you don't have any UI. And without any UI, how do you sort the posts before generating them, for example?
sure.
Uh, and I think having boss will really solve that problem. So right now I'm building the software for my company, but I'm just like, if it works well, I will probably put it like out there and see if other people are interested. But really what I'm focusing on is I want to build a software for UX marketing. So what I'm focusing on is how do we create social media posts in a human way. So that's why I work a lot with first you have the calendar of the year from the ICPs and the persona, and then you have the monthly like post ideas, and then you generate the post. So there are many steps when you do user experience marketing, and I want to put that in my piece of software and use AI for help on each step, but keeping the steps.
All
Uh,
right. I love it.
so
That's beautiful. And that's a great way to take something that you're doing in your workday every day and then automating it so that it frees you up to
yes,
do other things, right?
that's exactly that. I developed the process. That's the process I'm following for years. But now I'm like, okay, I have the process on paper. I can do it by myself now. How do I automate it? You're right. It's like using AI. I think it's not inventing new process for me. It's more I'm doing or I'm already doing it. How
Right.
do I use AI to help me do it faster and easier so I can do something else and free some time, free some of my team time too. So I'm not using AI to invent new things. I'm more like, okay, I have this. I know it's working. How do I use AI to automatize it?
Yeah, that's great. I love it. And it's a great, nice progression of using N8N inside of your own environment and making sure that you have it tuned so that you're getting the exact outputs that you want.
Yeah.
And then building something that will be potentially client facing as well as doing the work. So, well, put me on the list as a beta tester. I love to see it when you're ready for some feedback. I think that's awesome. I'm working on something similar that's like the full campaign of a brand new product,
Mm.
so that you take the video for the product manager and then it turns in to the marketing brief and the ICP and all the various stages of content that has to happen in order to release a new product. So, um, and maybe I'll send it over to you. You can beta test that one for me
Oh
too.
yeah, I want to see that too because that's not the same thing that I'm. It's close, but it's not exactly the same thing. So yeah, I would really wants to see it. I think it's great because it's great when you are a marketer and you start building your own products because you know what you're doing. And I think that's where it is most important with AI. I think the real mistake with AI sometimes is you see people trying to do things they have no knowledge about. And you're
Right.
just like, it's weird. You cannot trust AI. You cannot trust AI to do the right thing. You need to have some knowledge about what you are actually doing.
That's a
Uh,
good point. Well, and it gives us the opportunity also to kind of encapsulate our knowledge into a fixed repository, right? And so
yes.
it's a kind of a capstone event for each of these processes. So,
No, that's right. And it's really like building our SOPs and then you can share them and other people can use them. So it's really like putting your knowledge on something that is actually usable. And now we have the tool to do it because before we could write books, but other than books, it's like it was really no way to actually put it in place for other people to use it.
yeah. Well, Ginny, that has been great to talk to you. If people want to have a conversation about UX or about this tool you're developing, how do they catch up with you?
Yes, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I think I'm connected to that actually live post and it's I use my Monday name, Virginie Delaitre. So LinkedIn is a great place. And if you don't find me on LinkedIn right away, you can go to vdsdigitalagency.com. This is my website, and I'm building it. So you have everything that is coming to the website. There's a newsletter, you can register for it. That's sort of how to connect with me.
All right. Well, that's great. I appreciate your time today, and thanks for sharing your ideas on both the UX and on this new tool. And I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I try to develop it as fast as I can, but again, you have to test it, so it takes a little time. It's a monthly work, like months of work, months of work.
Yeah, and there's really ultimately there is no rush, right? Like it's just you'd rather put out something that's good than rush to market. So
Correct. Yeah, and in between I use it for myself, so it's not a loss. It's like I can use it in beta test for what I'm doing and testing it more.
Yeah.
So
Continue to make it better. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a good week, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay, same. Thanks. Thank you.
Cheers. Well, what a great example of taking a work process, something that's involved in day-to-day activity, and you picking a tool, in this case N8N, it could be make.com, it could be any number of tools that can automate and create connections between activities and software, and then making not just Ginny's work life easier for her, but then also potentially being a profit center as a standalone piece of software. So I think it's a great use case to look at, and I hope that you take some time today to find an AI tool, test an AI tool, and get some time back in your life so that you can spend that with your friends, your family, or get outside and take a walk in the fresh, clean air. It's Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.